And you can either place your faith in that or you don't. That's how, in the Old Testament, New Testament, it doesn't matter. You are saved by grace through faith. Adam was saved by grace through faith. So then in verse 22, the Lord said, Behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand and take also the tree of life and eat and live forever. So the Lord sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man and placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So God kicked the man and the woman out, and we have not known paradise the way the first man and woman did in that garden ever since. But one day, we will. One day, there will be that paradise once again. I was hoping to get that Cain and Abel, but we only got about 10 minutes, so I'm not going to start Cain and Abel yet.
That's okay.
Any questions, comments, or concerns on anything we've looked at today or in previous weeks?
That goes back, talking about them being put out of the Garden of Eden. You are forgiven for your sins, but you still pay for them. Adam was forgiven for his sins because of his faith, but he still had to pay for what he had done.
Absolutely. Just I mean, you look at these young people today, you know, committing all kind of sins against their body, and God can forgive them, but you know,
their body still has to pay the price.
I mean, I tell these boys and girls, you know, if you have a child out of wedlock, God will forgive you, and God will bless you, and God will bless that child, but you know, it's forever going to change your life. And you know, I personally know well, my sister had all the potential in the world, and she could have been, she was in school, you know, but she had a child out of wedlock, and that held her back greatly. She's done, I mean, God's forgiven her, and she's, you know, but she has been held back, and you know, God's way is always the best way. You know, drugs and alcohol. But I know people that have been on drugs. I've known them before and after, and they're different people. I'm talking about after they quit and it's out of their system, they are forever mentally scarred from those drugs. I know a man in Milledgeville that had one of the most prominent, a very prominent business, thriving business, went through a divorce, got on drugs, lost his business, was on drugs for 4 or 5 years. He's off now, but it's like talking to a 12-year-old kid when you talk to him. His mind's just gone.
Some potent stuff, you know. Man-made stuff, sounds like.
God's forgiven him, but he's still paying for his sins. Next week we're going to look at Cain and Abel. I hope you'll take a few minutes this week and look at it. We're going to see that when you approach the Scriptures, most of the time there's a primary application. A lot of times there's a secondary application, and even sometimes there's a tertiary application. And what we're going to see in the story of Cain and Abel, there's several applications and ways to look at this story, and that's what we're going to look at next week. Remember, when you study the Bible, look for Christ. Remember, we talked about Christ is on the pages of every book in the Bible. He is. And he's in the story of Cain and Abel. Look for him. See if you can find him.
Ooh, a challenge.
Let me